Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and today is Wake Up Wednesday. On Wednesdays, we call it Wake Up Wednesday. The word of the day, though, is intentionality. On Wednesdays, we focus on being intentional, what that means, ways of being intentional. All things intentional is the focus for today. When we are intentional, we have our eye on the prize. There is something that we're trying to accomplish, there's a certain life that we're wanting to cultivate, and we put all of our intention, our energy, our resources into that. Everything outside of that takes a back seat. It's paused because we can only truly focus and put our intention on one thing at a time. If it's something that we really are wanting to drive towards, we have to give ourselves that permission to get that narrow focus. You've seen horses race, right? When they race, they have the blinders on. I don't even know what they're actually called. But they can only see straight ahead. They can only see their way to the finish line. What's happening on either side of them is outside of their peripheral. They can't see it. They can't see what's in their peripheral. And that's how we have to be if there's something that we really want to accomplish. We've got to hone in on it. We have to provide focus. We have to put our energy, our thoughts, our efforts into accomplishing that thing. So it's all about that. Where are you putting your energy? Asking yourself throughout the day, why am I doing this? Why am I spending my time? Why am I spending my energy, my effort on this particular thing? And asking yourself that, you can determine very, very quickly whether or not you're spending your time wisely in terms of the goals that you have for yourself or not. Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, Shay. Thank you guys for joining. And our when we are being focused, when we are being intentional with how we spend our resources. And to me, my most precious resource is my time, because I can't get that back. It's not a renewable thing. Everything else, for the most part, I can get more of. I can even get more energy. I can go and take a nap and recharge my battery and get up and get going again. But when it comes to my time, once it's spent and there's no refund. I cannot go back and get it. And so we have to realize that, and we have to be very intentional in our choices, realizing that we're making choices all day, every day. Throughout every day, we are making choices. And sometimes we are doing that on autopilot and we have no idea. We're not even realizing that the number of choices we make each and every day. When you tap into them, though, when you realize that your day is full of little mini choices, then you can become intentional about how you manage your day, how you manage those choices, because you can decide, which thing am I going to do? Which way am I going to go? What energy am I going to spend on this particular activity? And you base that on whether or not it's going to drive you towards what it is you would like to accomplish. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Mother. And it's important. We can't get our time back. So how we spend it has a lot to do with how close we get or how far we are away from the things that we desire. The question that I was pondering last night, though, when I was thinking about being intentional, I was at my gym. They started a book club. Good morning, Alicia. And during the on the book club this month, we're doing James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits, if you guys haven't read it, this will be my second time. If you haven't read it, it is a powerful book. The atom is the smallest, form of matter, of energy. It's our smallest component. So he's talking about those micro decisions, those micro choices that I talk about all the time. But in his from his perspective, he's actually talking about change. If we make small adjustments, a 1% improvement from where we were yesterday, And we do that again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We keep making these small changes and incorporating them into our lives. Before we know it, those things compound. They stack up over time and they create this big change that we would like. So I'm going to talk about this more next Tuesday, on Transformation Tuesday. But being intentional, the question that I asked was, is having goals enough? We talk about goal setting a lot. I have a goal setting workbook that I tell you guys about. It's a big part of our conversations, right? But is that enough? Is it enough just to have goals? We know the answer is no, because everybody has goals. We create new goals all the time, especially during the beginning of the new year or some reset. We have our goals for a period of time, but often we get back to old habits, and those goals fall by the wayside, and then we go and grab them again the next time it's a reset. And so he's talking about that process of creating the goals, being excited and taking steps towards them for a little bit, and then for whatever reason getting back to our old habits and um not accomplishing the goal. And so he was looking at, why is that? And he brings it down to habits. It's not enough to have goals. You have to have systems to support what it is you're trying to accomplish. And by systems, he talked about the example of wanting to run a marathon. You can train and train and train and train, prepare yourself for the marathon, actually do it. And then when it's over, you may not even train anymore because you had a finite goal in mind, running the marathon. But if you really want to be healthier, he said, why not become a runner? If your goal is to become a runner and you identify as a runner, you see yourself as a runner. That's how you introduce yourself. It becomes a part of your identity. And that's what I talk about all the time, integrating our change into our lives so that we don't go back. Once the caterpillar has become a butterfly and it's burst out of that cocoon, it can't go back. The cocoon is destroyed. That house no longer will hold and support the butterfly like it did the cocoon. So the system that you have in place has to support the change that you would like to make. So it's one thing to have a short-term goal, and that's what he talked about. If you're not really integrating it and you're focused on just this one accomplishment, the end result, then you may get there, but then find yourself sliding backwards right back into the old habits again. So it's one thing for me to want to lose weight. That could be a goal, but it's another thing for me to start to see myself as a healthy person, to see myself as someone who eats well and feeds my body well. He talked about a lady who lost I want to say 100 pounds, um, and she did it by asking herself every time she got ready to eat or make a decision, she would ask herself, what would a healthy person do? And then she would do that. So she wasn't saying, I am going to do all these little bitty things and I'm going, and for a short amount of time, but she actually started to identify and behave like a healthy person. And in focusing on the larger, the more sustainable, the lifestyle change of who she wanted to become, she didn't have to focus on the short-term goals of a particular number on the scale, a particular amount of weight loss. I'm sure she had it in her mind, but her focus was on becoming healthy. And because that was what she intended to do, that's where what she was intentional about. She asked herself every time she got ready to make a decision, am I going to have dessert? Am I going to have a salad? Am I going to eat some fruit? Am I going to do this? Am I going to, sit down in front of the TV, or I'm going to go work out? Instead of just making all these goals in her head that a lot of times we get overwhelmed and fall away from, she began to identify as a healthy person. And that made it easier for her to make her decisions. What would a healthy person do, is what she asked herself all day long as she was making those little micro decisions throughout the day. And if we can get to that point to where we're starting to behave like what we would like to become, we'll see ourselves be more successful in generating the life that we would like to have. So that really resonated with me yesterday when I was listening to James Clear's audio book, Atomic Habits. He had a saying in there: we do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So you have to have the right systems in place to support the life, to support the goals, to support what it is that you are trying to accomplish, right? If I decided that I no longer wanted to drink alcohol, it would be very difficult for me to make that happen if I spent all my time with my friends at the bar. The system around me would be people saying, "Hey, I'll get the next round. Hey, what would you like to drink?" The bartender's coming up. So I'm in an environment that's designed for me to fail at what it is I'm trying to achieve. So I would have to think about that differently. I would have to put a system in place. It'd be okay for me maybe every once in a while to go and hang, but it couldn't be the consistent thing. I would have to do something different with my time. Otherwise, I'm making it very, very difficult to achieve what it is I'm setting out for. So the challenge for today is to start by looking at your goals, be clear, be intentional about what you want to accomplish, but then to ask yourself, have I created the environment for me to be successful against this thing that I'm saying that I desire? That's your question. Do you have the right systems in place to support these goals that you've generated? And a system is important. And that's what I try really, really hard to document in my courses and things like that is, what's the system? How are we going to get there? What are we going to do differently than what we did today? Those micro changes. That's why I tell you guys all the time, we can't focus so much on the big thing that we get overwhelmed with that little 1% change. 1% change. I'm a little bit better than I was yesterday. Tomorrow I'll be a little bit better than I was the day before that. And we keep making those small changes and they compound. I don't know if you guys are familiar with compound interest. Compound interest is, it's something that we want to take advantage of in our finances. When you have compound interest, you save a little bit, but I've got $1 today, and then it keeps growing, and event that compounding, so it doesn't grow off the original dollar. Each time I get more, the interest is being applied to the bigger number each time. So now I've got $5. So my interest is being calculated off of the five. Now I've got $5.50. The interest is being calculated off the 550. So it's not the original amount that the interest is coming off of, but as the amount grows, the interest is calculated against that bigger amount. And over time, you really start to see that take off. And that was one of the things that he pointed out as well, is we don't see the change typically fast enough for the average person to stick in there, because it feels like we're working and nothing happens. And then if we stay consistent and we stay intentional and we keep working, all of a sudden, boom, something happens big. The overnight successes that we see. I love Tabitha Brown. My daughter has sent me an article yesterday where she signed a deal with McCormick. We all met her, as this vegan who was making food good that we would like to eat and showing us how to do that. And she had this great personality, and her and her husband started doing podcasts and all kinds of stuff. And slowly over time, she built up this following, and now she's everywhere. You see her kids TV show, you see her hair products in Target and all over the place. Now she has McCormick. She has all these things that's going on. It feels like, to somebody who's watching her, that she popped up and just became this phenomenon overnight. But she's transparent enough that she talks about her journey, and she talks about, the difficulties that she had, how many times she's tried, how long she's been working, and finally, through social media, her personality drew us in, and enough of us started to follow that the people that she was trying to get to started to pay attention to her, and these opportunities started to come. But it felt like it was overnight. But for her, it's been a lifetime. It's been a lifetime of working, making good decisions, putting herself out there, trying things that didn't work, adjusting until she showed up as this queen that so many people love and follow now. In James Clear's book, he used the example of bamboo. Bamboo is so slow going in the beginning. It appears. But what's really happening is it grows down first. The root system grows and grows and grows and grows deep into the ground for months. And then all of a sudden, it can go to, I forgot how many feet tall, but bamboo gets huge. Apparently, it appears to us almost overnight. Well, it's been growing all along. It's just been growing down and under the surface and building that good, strong root system so that it could sustain itself, so that it could get the water and nutrients that it needs. And then all of a sudden, that magic happens, and boom, we see this big shoot of bamboo. Our lives are like that. When we're trying to change, we're working. We are working. We're doing what it is that we think we're supposed to do. We're being intentional, and it seems like nothing is happening. But something's happening. I tell myself all the time, who knows? I just need the right person. I just need the right person to catch one of my lives and share it with their network, and all of a sudden I've got thousands, if not millions, of people tuning in. I don't know when and if that's going to happen. I just show up every day because this is how I identify. I see myself as a blogger. I see myself as a podcaster. I see myself as a motivational speaker. And because that's how I identify, I do the things that support that. I'm building a system that allows me to do that. I'm making some good morning. I'm making some decisions that to some people make no sense. Why are you up every morning so early before you even start your workday? You don't get paid for this. You don't really get anything out of it. But that's not true. I do. I get a lot out of being here. I've connected with some wonderful people that otherwise I would not know. I've honed my speaking skills. I'm much more comfortable in front of a camera and doing some of the things that I do than I ever was. So I'm definitely getting something out of it. I'm working on a book. Maybe the fact that my face is out here and we're talking all the time, there may be people who grab it that would not have grabbed it before. I don't know. I don't know what, but my root system's growing. I know that. I know that I'm consistently taking care of business. So even though I can't see the bamboo shoot up yet, the root system is growing. And at some point it takes hold, and that's when the magic happens. And if you could think about your life that way, identify as who it is you want to be, and then do the work and build the system to support who it is that you want to be, it will happen. You just have to give yourself time. So let's see. I wanted to greet a few more people who've come on. Good morning, Alicia. I quickly said hello to you. Good morning, Karen. And Sherry, and I think that's Grace. There's quite a few folks who have joined us, and I see some comments coming in. The system you have in place has to support the change you're about to make. Right. What are the micro changes you're making that will compound? Wow, sounds logical, but so impactful. Thanks, Cassandra. I think that's Grace. You're showing up as LinkedIn user again, but I have a feeling that's you, Grace. Shay says it's going to happen. Speak that into existence. I'm huge, Shay, on words. I understand the power of my words. I hope you all understand just how powerful you are. He talked. I don't know if that was James Clear. No, it wasn't. I was actually at my dance rehearsal last night. I'm a part of a praise dance team at my church, and we dance every other month on the fourth Sunday. So we're preparing to dance this Sunday coming, and we always do a little Bible study before. And this morning, my and I was going through my notes, and I found a lesson that my godmother had done on faith, and she talked about the pattern of faith and allowing things to happen. She said it starts with your mouth, with what you say. You have to, and it goes into your ears. You have to hear yourself speaking life over you, speaking positivity about yourself. And then from there, it goes into your heart. That's where you really start to believe it and you start to act and behave as if it is so. So, from your mouth to your ears to your heart is where the changes that you'd like to see, where the life that you would like to birth, that's where all of those things can take place. So, what you say and how you say it is so very powerful. That's why we talk about mindset all the time. I have a couple of shirts that say speak life. I see somebody joining in from Russia. Hello. I see Zion from Nigeria. Hello. Let's see who else has come on. Oh, the LinkedIn user. That's Damien. Oh my gosh, Damien. I was on your audio room last night. You are amazing. I just couldn't believe how many people that you had in there. But everybody that came up, you were so connected with them that you were able to say, oh, they're being modest. Let me tell you about this great thing that they're doing. The support and the way you encouraged everybody is so admirable. And it's a lesson that we all could learn from. I was so impressed with you. Let's see. My mom said life and death are in the power of our own tongue. And that's true. It's true. Not only can how you live your, if you just look at it from an energy, if you just look at it from uh, a confidence, if you just look at it from how you show up in the world, if we're not talking about a physical life and death, if you can't get there, think about how you feel about yourself as a person, how encouraged you are. If you just think about that, how you say you are, what you say about yourself will either give life and encouragement to that, or you'll kill your dreams. You'll kill your energy. You will absolutely kill who it is that you're trying to become if you don't speak life. If you speak negative over you, that's what you can expect to experience. But if you speak life, if you speak encouragement, if you tell yourself that not only you can, but you deserve, eventually from your mouth to your ears to your heart, the alignment will happen and you'll see yourself beginning to behave as if it's already happened. And that's when that root system is really starting to take place. And before you know it, it'll start to jump up. It'll start to grow. Um, Oh, Damien, you've got some other fans on here. Lark says he is a rock star for sure, and AR says ditto. And you are very welcome. I look forward to your next room. For you guys that are joining from Facebook and YouTube, I don't know how much time you spend on LinkedIn. I was sleeping on LinkedIn for a long time, and how I stumbled into it in this community, I don't know, but I'm super grateful for it. LinkedIn has audio rooms, and those audio rooms are neat. You don't see each other like you see me right now, but it's what's great about it is he's presenting, and the other folks that I listen to, they're presenting their topic. And if I have something to say about it, I can virtually raise my hand and they can bring me up on stage. And now everyone can hear me as well. So it gives you the opportunity to really interact and to connect and to get to know each other. Where here you guys just see me. You can give your comments, which I absolutely love, but to actually also be able to hear your comments instead of just reading them, and us to be able to interact is great. So I am working on I think I'm going to start an audio room next month, and I'm thinking about The Voice Within Wins is the name of the room. And in there we'll talk about the same types of things that we talk about here, but I'll be able to get the opinions and learn from others as well. It won't be a one-way conversation. So I'm really excited about that. My mom says, encourage yourself, be your own fan. Encourage yourself, be your own fan. The voice within wins. That's what I'm talking about there. You have to take hold of the negative messaging that's playing in your head. You have to connect to it. You have to be aware that it's there. And then you begin to do the work to rewrite it, to reframe it so that you're not holding yourself back. You have to take hold of that and do that work, and that gets you out of your own way, and it opens you up to whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish. It opens you up to move towards the life that you so desire. Kim Shay says, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it too. Annie and I've been talking about it. He may co-host with me. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think he's leading me down that path. So I think that's how it's going to unfold. Just as quickly as we can align our schedules, we'll get an audio room going on a regular basis. But for now, I am enjoying this because more and more of you guys are here, more and more of you are sharing and engaging and providing your comments, and that's really what it's all about. I want to get the topic going. I want to give something, but also receiving and hearing back from you all is really what makes this work. And I learn so much from you all every day. I get great feedback, and it's really encouraging me to keep going. It reminds me that the root system is going, and what's going to sprout up and how it's going to look. Is it going to be bamboo? Will it be flowers? I don't know, but I know something is happening. I know this is all happening for a reason. We're all connecting for a reason, and I hope you guys are getting as much out of it as I am. But as you go throughout your day to day, and you think about the things that you really desire, the things that you're trying to bring about, just ask yourself, do I have the right systems in place to make that happen? And where the answer is no, that's a data point. That's all it is. That's where you can hone in and start to do some work. Don't allow yourself to get down about what's there and what's not there. You ask yourself those questions, because once you know, now you're in a position to affect change. You can do something differently. So go ahead, ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Who am I becoming is a better question. And then start to act as that person. That lady asked herself all day, every day, what would a healthy person do? And that allowed her to drive her change and accomplish what she wanted to accomplish. And before she knew it, she was 100 pounds lighter. But I bet she didn't just lose weight. I bet she became healthier. I bet she became fitter. There were other things that happened because her focus was on being healthy, not just a number on the scale. She embodied who she wanted to be. And that's where the magic is, really integrating it in our lives. So it's not just an end goal, this one time thing, because once we accomplish that, then our brain goes, okay, got that done. And if we're not careful, we slide right back to those old habits and patterns. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. It is Wake Up Wednesday. Be intentional throughout the remainder of your day. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is this the best use of my time against what it is and who it is that I am becoming? All right. I am Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker. We will be back here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is already Thursday. Whew. So tomorrow is Thankful Thursday. Tomorrow we will get together and talk about gratitude. So I will see you all back for that tomorrow. You'll see attached in most of the social media spaces a link to my free online class, Transforming Your Inner Critic into Your Inner Advocate. If you haven't gotten that yet, or you can't find the link, just DM me your email address and I'll get it over there to you. And I mentioned yesterday, I have launched the next phase of that. I have an actual paid class, and it's the 6 C's of removing self-limiting beliefs, getting that voice within right. So take the free class, see if you like what I'm talking about and how I do it. And if you do, then the full course is available for you after that. So if you want to know more, DM me, reach out, and we'll connect, and I will share with you what it is you would like to receive. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for Thankful Thursday. Bye, guys.